Today on Portage Pulse, Election Day is next week and a Kent State student organization is working on voting education. What are they doing to make it fun for students?
Medical professionals rallied together to help spread awareness about healthcare access for women.
Good afternoon, Portage County, and welcome to this week's episode of Portage Pulse. I'm Nuried Hurtado.
And I'm Nikki Gasiewski. According to a media release from the Portage County Fatality Review Board, there have been 15 fatal crashes and 17 deaths in 2022. The review board was put in place by the Portage County Health District to monitor crashes in the county. Streetsboro Police Lieutenant Rich Pavoka wants to remind people to wear their seatbelts, as this could be a way to protect yourself from serious injury.
And U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown met with veterans in Ravenna Monday. He discussed a new law, the PACT Act, that expands health care and offers benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits and other substances. Brown said that the law will take effect in January 2023 with specific conditions for veterans to get paid benefits.
Elections are fast approaching, and Kent State student organizations are working to help spread awareness on the importance of voting.
And the College Democrats and USG had a drag show to help send this message. Our reporter Alexa Warmuth has the story.
Kent State students and community members gathered Thursday, November 3rd in Cartwright Hall to drag out the vote.
I think events like this where it's really fun, people just come, you can have a good time, but then you're like, oh yeah, voting is important.
The Drag Out the Vote event was held by the Kent State College Democrats and undergraduate student government and aimed to bring voting awareness through a drag show and voting resources.
I also think it's very important to support local artists and voting.
Congressional candidate Matt Kilboy attended the event to discuss the importance of voting before the show.
I think it helps to be mindful of dates, as well as creating conversations and space for conversations about things to kind of change the narrative around voting to be more positive.
Several drag performers from around the Kent area took the stage to draw attention to participation in next week's election.
I think drag brings a unique space of queer people together to realize that we do really need to take voting serious if we're going to progress as a community. And I think that it's really important for LGBTQ and POC rights that we vote.
As Kent State prepares for election week, more events are sure to come. For TV2 News, I'm Alexa Warmuth.
And Goodyear's third quarter earnings came in lower than a year ago. The Akron tire maker reported third quarter results Monday and reported earning $44 million or 16 cents by share on revenue of $5.3 billion compared to last year's $132 million earning or 47 cents per share on a revenue of $4.9 billion. Goodyear said the company has been facing many challenges, including persistent inflation.
Akron Comparative Farms received a $25,000 grant to make renovations to the farm, like a pavilion, new wash station, and a pizza oven. The farm is a nonprofit located in the North Hill neighborhood. The North Hill community is a place where refugees and immigrants can seek shelter. The farm complex fosters a mission held by the community to provide a home for individuals in need.
Election day right around the corner, many are wondering how they can cast their vote this year. Our reporter Matthew Mergen visited the Portage County Board of Elections to find out more.
There are 3 ways to vote in this upcoming election.
You can vote absentee by mail, which requires that a student would send us a absentee ballot request. Once that is received and all of the information is correct, then we would mail the ballot to the student.
If you are not available on Election Day but would still like to vote in person, then the early voting option might be for you.
We have in-office voting. Also, that's also considered absentee.
And on November 8th,
Then obviously they can go to the polls on Election Day.
you can vote in person as long as you have a form of identification, such as a valid Ohio driver's license. For students who live near campus and are away from home, they will need to bring a printed proof of residency, such as a utility bill. They will need to vote by provisional ballot.
Let's say you're registered to vote in Franklin County. You can always request a ballot from Franklin County, your home county, or you can go to your appropriate polling location at Kent State and you can vote a provisional ballot.
Nielsen expressed how important it is for students' voices to be heard.
probably the most important thing is that you need to vote. A lot of time, I hear a lot. It doesn't matter, but it does. It really does.
Updates on the ongoing war with Ukraine and Russia. See what tragedies are occurring overseas.
Why Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is suing a Tennessee-based company.
The College of Public Health at Kent State University prepares students for careers in some of today's most exciting health fields. Public health professionals impact lives by monitoring clinical trials, advocating for mental health, supporting active lifestyles, and more. The College of Public Health also offers open courses for any major, including its most famous course, Zombie Outbreak. Public health students can even study abroad and are encouraged to join the Public Health Student Alliance. For more information, visit kent.edu/public health. Public health, solving our problems together.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Medical providers and doctors in the U.S. rallied together Thursday for National Day of Action in defiance of abortion bans across the country. The group Doctors for Abortion Access is calling on health providers to demand lawmakers to stop creating laws that criminalize them for doing their jobs. Abortion providers for more than 10 states took place on the rally, including Ohio, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Texas.
The Federal Housing Finance Agency reports homes in white neighborhoods are being appraised at twice the value of ones located in colored communities. Their report states the racial gap in home values has increased 75%. Families of color try to combat this racial gap in home values by having white friends stand in for them during their appraisal. The report also notes that racial inequalities were exacerbated by the pandemic, resulting in the rise of home values.
Russian military officials have discussed how and under what conditions Russia will use a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine.
We're concerned about any discussion by a modern nuclear power of the potential use for nuclear weapons.
Some U.S. officials have heightened concern that Russia could use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. That's following an assessment from the National Intelligence Council. It suggests Russia's military leaders have been discussing what might prompt such a strike, according to multiple people who've read it. But the analysis is not raw intelligence or a high-confidence product.
We've seen no indication that the Russian military is making any kind of preparations for this kind of use.
Some officials believe the analysis takes conversations out of context. Others are more concerned.
It might not be just a demonstration strike in the ocean or something like this, but they might actually be used to achieve a battlefield impact.
In a statement, Russia said it only used nuclear weapons in response to an attack threatening the existence of its country. Russia illegally annexed parts of Ukraine this year. It could try to argue defending that area would fit its doctrine, says retired General Wesley Clark.
You'd wait for the Ukrainians to concentrate their forces, and then you'd fire a pulse of these weapons out across several miles.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Amid the war with Ukraine and Russia, people have been coming out and speaking against the sexual violence from Russian soldiers. The Ukrainian citizens who have spoken against the violence have ranged from 4 to 82 years old. According to the UN, 43 criminal proceedings have been initiated against Russian soldiers. Although most cases of the sexual violence goes unreported, there have been more awareness surrounding the violence in hopes of more criminal proceedings. In other Ukrainian war news, early Monday morning, many missile strikes hit the town of Kyiv. These missiles hit civilian infrastructure, including houses, apartment buildings, and playgrounds. With the cleanup from these strikes in Kyiv and surrounding cities, there have been no deaths or injuries reported from these strikes. With the strikes in Kyiv, the missiles hit water infrastructure, causing a water and power outage for 80% of the city of Kyiv. Not only did it affect houses, the outage affected a major hospital in the city. A Ukrainian doctor said just one of the patients in the hospital required more than 300 liters of water every 4 hours. With the water outage, many patients did not get treated. The water for the hospital and city of Kyiv was turned on 24 hours later with the hope of the hospital treating the patients who the outage negatively affected. For TV2, I'm Elijah Chafin.
Thanks, Elia. Coming up to Ohio, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is taking Dollar General to court for goods being a different price on the shelf than the register, also known as false advertisement. Dollar General is a Tennessee-based company and has operated in Ohio since 2015 and has 943 stores statewide. The lawsuit was filed in Butler County Common Pleas Court, and the false advertisement violates Ohio's Consumer Sales Practice Act. Joyce called it, quote, appalling behavior. Lighter mornings and darker evenings are on the way. As 2 a.m. Sunday, U.S. clocks will turn back 1 hour and revert to standard time, shifting sunrise and sunset an hour earlier. This comes as lawmakers debate whether the long-standing tradition should be eliminated. The Senate approved the Bipartisan Sunshine Protection Act in March, which would make daylight saving time permanent, but the bill has stalled in the House. How do you feel about daylight time saving?
I have a lot of mixed feelings on it, but I'm finally happy they're fixing it though.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of keep changing the hour all the time. It's just a little bit annoying.
It throws me off.
Yeah, it actually does a lot, not gonna lie to you.
Losing hours, sleep and all, it's just awful.
Yeah, we're gonna lose a whole hour that day. I don't know, I just don't like the idea.
I like sleeping in though, longer.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that's all the time we have for you today for this week's episode of Portage Pulse.
And when TV2 is off there, stay up to date on top stories on KentWired.com and on socials at KentWired. I'm Nikki Gasiewski.
And I'm Nuried Hurtado. Have a great day, Portage County.